Is urging Benjamin Netanyahu to show restraint in response to increasing Hezbollah rocket attacks into northern Israel. At the same time, one IDF major tells CBN News now is the time to act.
Israel says it's destroyed half of the Hamas fighting forces in Rafah, and it could wrap up operations in the city in the matter of weeks. CBN's Julie Stahl reports.
In meetings with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, a senior aide to President Biden called for Israel to trust diplomacy and refrain from all-out war. With Israelis living in the north enduring daily shellings and some 100,000 having evacuated their homes, one Israeli reserve major told CBN News that trusting diplomacy is not realistic.
So how diplomacy can work when you are talking about a regime that is exporting ideology, that is calling for submission of their values for their Islamic Sharia laws values in our region, and Israel is actually for them the Jewish democratic state of Israel.
Israeli Reserve Major Shadi Khalul is an Aramean Christian from the Galilee. He says time is of the essence.
Actually, the earlier we do it, the more chances we have to win this war. If we delay this conflict, they will be ready and get ready to destroy Israel and then move on to other countries in Europe.
Earlier in the war, Israel faced U.S. and international opposition to invading Rafah and defeating the remaining Hamas battalions. Now Israeli forces say they've destroyed 2 of the 4 battalions and degraded the other 2. They've also discovered hundreds of rockets intended for Israeli civilians. Israeli media is reporting a new document that shows military and intelligence officials knew weeks in advance of Hamas's plan to invade Israel and kidnap as many as 250 Israelis. While officials believe defenses were strong enough to prevent an invasion, Hamas succeeded in killing 1,200 civilians and taking about 250 hostages on October 7th. Some of the hostages have died in captivity, and those who've been released and rescued testified to psychological, physical, and sexual abuse. Vice President Kamala Harris highlighted that these crimes are likely still happening to hostages held in Gaza.
And I just met with Amit, a survivor who has bravely come forward with her account of sexual violence while she was held captive by Hamas. These testimonies, I fear, will only increase as more hostages are released.
Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, I want the whole world to understand what that Aramaic Christian, here he is, a major in the IDF. He's from Galilee, which would mean, as an Aramaic Christian, it's one of the oldest Christian communities in the world. What he is saying is, in the ideological struggle here, you have on one side a democracy that believes in freedom of speech, freedom of conscience, freedom of religion. He's able to practice his religion freely in Israel. He's not discriminated against. He rose to the position of major in the IDF. And he's saying it's a struggle against democracy, and under Sharia law is the other side, an Islamic rule that requires submission to Sharia law. And that is a struggle. When you analyze it from that standpoint, I really do not understand the campus protests here in America, where they're literally saying, we don't want democracy in Israel, we don't want freedom of conscience, we don't want freedom of religion, we want to impose Sharia law throughout Israel. That's what it means when you're chanting from the river to the sea. You're saying that only Muslims can be in Israel. Go back to the period of time from 1948 to 1967, where the West Bank, Jerusalem, East Jerusalem, the Jewish quarter in the old city of Jerusalem. You go back to that time period. You couldn't be Jewish and be there. It was illegal for you. You couldn't pray at the Western Wall. You had to have special permits just to go to the areas that were controlled by Israel. It was unbelievable You talk about ethnic cleansing, you talk about genocide. Well, take a look at that history. What happened under Jordanian rule, supposedly tolerant, moderate Jordanian. Imagine what would happen if Hamas was unleashed. We've already seen it happen. Go back to 2006, where just because you were of a different political party, if you were Fatah in Gaza in 2006, what they would do to you is take you to the top of a building and throw you over. That is what they do. How could you ever align with them and say this is, somehow a blow for freedom, where we want freedom? No, you don't. Please wake up, look at the ideology behind it, pay attention to it, learn the history, and you will absolutely say, no, we stand with Israel.